Today on Max Handy Gadgets, we're making a delicious pepper steak sub sandwich with cheese. So let's get started. Alright, for the main ingredients to make our delicious pepper steak sub sandwich with cheese, we have a nice rump roast here that we sous vide and went ahead and seared it in our cast iron skillet. I'll put a link to that in the description because that turned out really good. And that's what we're going to use today to make our sandwich. And over here we have a nice Italian sub roll. And over here we have one medium-sized onion. We're probably going to use only like a quarter of that. And here we have a cup of mozzarella cheese. And over here we have a cup of cheddar cheese. And we have two nice bell peppers, one green and one red. We're probably only going to use maybe half of them. Alright, now let's get started. We'll put some of this aside. Alright, let's go ahead and slice our sub roll. Now we're going to cut this all the way through today. Just like that. Nice. Okay, we're probably going to lightly toast that. Alright, let's put this aside for now. Now here's our really nice rump roast that we made the other day. And boy, was that tender and juicy. Now we're going to go ahead and make a nice sandwich out of it. So let's do that. We'll slice it up as thin as we can. And we'll see how many slices we get out of it. We're looking for about 6 to 8. Maybe even a little more if they're thinner. So let's go ahead and slice this up. You got to use a sharp knife to do it. And we went ahead and sharpened this with our any sharp knife sharpener. So let's go ahead and slice this up. I'm trying to cut it thin, so. See how pink that is? Can you see it? That was beautifully pink. It still is. Boy, was that good. Yeah, that recipe, you're going to enjoy that. I'll put a link in the description for this because it really was good. Now, if you have a slicer, a meat slicer, boy, you can make some delicious sandwiches out of this. Slice it real thin. My meat slicer is, somewhere. I don't know where it went. But, yeah, if you had a meat slicer, boy, you could do a good job on this. Okay, what do we got there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's cut maybe 2 more. Try to get them thin. Okay, we'll go ahead and put this aside and we'll make something else out of this. Well, there they are, guys. Look at them. Don't they look nice? Nice and pink. And boy, like I said, they were very tender when we made that rump roast the other day. And I'll put a link in the description, like I said, because it was very, very good. Everybody enjoyed it. Okay, let's put these on a plate. Alright, there they are. Let's put these aside. Alright, let's quickly peel this onion. Alright, let's cut this up. Now we're probably only going to use a quarter of this, so we'll put this aside and then we'll maybe cut that in half and put that aside. Ah, that's a small onion. We'll probably use half of that. Kind of chop them up, but keep them kind of coarse. Okay, there you go. All right, let's put them in a bowl. Kind of break them up as you go. Okay, let's put our onions aside. All right, and we'll take a half a bell pepper and we'll slice it up. Maybe we'll use a quarter of this or a little more. Let's use half. Okay, there you go. We'll save this piece. And we'll cut them in like thirds. Maybe get that big one right there. All right. And we'll put those in a bowl. Okay, let's put them aside again. And we'll slice up our nice red bell pepper. Same way. This is a half of a nice red bell pepper. We're probably going to use about half of a bell pepper. All right, let's put this aside. And we'll chop these in thirds or maybe even a little bit smaller. Just like that. And we'll put them in a bowl. All right. All right, there's our red and green bell peppers and onions. Now all we have to do is start cooking. So let's do that. All right, and today we're using a non-stick pan and we're gonna set our burner to medium high. And we're gonna put a little peanut oil in the pan. All right, our pan seems hot enough. Now let's go ahead and put our green and red bell peppers and onions right in there. All right, now we're gonna stir fry these until they become just a little translucent, the onions. And we wanna keep them just a little bit crunchy in the end for our sandwich. Okay, they're starting to look pretty good. Yeah, they're looking good. I don't know what it is with peppers and onions when they get together. Boy, they smell good when they're frying. Really nice. All right, let's go ahead and lower our burner down to medium low. And we're gonna take all our nice roast beef. Now this is a rump roast that we cooked the other day and boy is it tender. So we'll put them right in there. Now we're just looking to warm up our roast beef. Boy, this roast beef is really tender. I wish you could see it because you can just pull it apart with your fingers. See it? Beautiful. I don't know how all this is going to fit on that sub roll. But we'll get it on there. Okay, it's starting to fall apart, our roast beef, so that's done. Now we're going to go ahead and mix our peppers and onions in there a little bit. Okay, that looks pretty good. Okay, let me see if I can arrange this better. Okay, at this point I like to add a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, some garlic powder, yep, and because we have a lot of onions, we're going to put some onion powder in there, and a tiny bit of smoked paprika. Alright, now we're going to try to add all our mozzarella cheese on there. Let's see how much we can get on there. Okay guys, that's a whole cup. Let's see if we can get it up there where it belongs. Okay, now we're going to try to get all our cheddar cheese on there. I don't know if we'll fit it, but we'll give it a shot. Okay, I think we got it. Now that's 2 cups of cheese. That's 1 cup of mozzarella and 1 cup of cheddar. Now I like to flatten it down a little bit. Like this. Kind of tidy things up a little. Is that a word, tidy? Okay, there you go. Now we're going to put a little bit of parsley flakes on top of there. And we're going to put our lid on there and melt our cheese. Alright guys, let's check our cheese and see how we're doing. Oh wow, okay, that's done. Let's go ahead and shut off our burner and see if we can tidy this up a little. Wow guys, that's a big one. I mean big. What else is new around here? We make them big, don't we? Those sandwiches keep getting bigger every time. Alright, now all we have to do is get ready to put that on that little sub roll. Okay, let's give it a shot. Let's see if we can do it. Okay guys, here it is. Look at that. Now we went ahead and tidied it up pretty good, if that's a word. You know, I got it in the middle. Now let's try to get this on this sub roll. Let's give it a shot. Wow, that's huge, guys. I don't know if we're going to do it, but we're going to get to it here. I mean, it's big. Okay. Wow, guys, look at that sandwich. Now that is loaded with cheese, loaded with roast beef, loaded with green and red bell peppers and onions, and I'll bet you it tastes good because we seasoned it good too. And you can't even see the sub roll. But that's normal around here, you know. So let's see if we can put the top on. As you can see, the top looks small, right? Let's put it right on there. Look at that sandwich, guys. Let me spin it around and see if I can show you, because it's huge. Alright guys, let me zoom in a little bit here. Look at that sandwich, guys. That is probably the biggest one that I've made, especially a roast beef sandwich. That is definitely loaded with flavor there. Loaded with cheese, and it's loaded with roast beef. So and I can't wait to have a taste of this, because I'll bet you it really tastes good. And that's why we're calling it a pepper steak sub sandwich with cheese today, because it's loaded with peppers and loaded with roast beef. Alright, I can't wait any longer. Let's go ahead and cut this in half. Alright guys, let's pick up a piece of this roast beef that kind of flew out of here and break it off. Look how tender that is. Can you see it? Look. Boy, is that nice. Is that good? Alright guys, let me see if I can pick this up and get my jaws wrapped around there. Alright, here we go. Look at that sandwich, guys. That is just awesome. I mean to tell you, you're going to need a bib with this one. Alright, let me have a bite. Oh, wow, is that tender and juicy. That meat is just beautiful. I definitely am going to put a link in the description for this roast beef that we cooked the other day. It was a rump roast, and boy is it tender. Okay, and all our guests loved it, so let's go ahead and move this so you can see it better. Look at all that stuff. That's a beautiful sandwich right there. Alright guys, there you have it. Our delicious pepper steak sub sandwich with cheese. And let me tell you, it's loaded with flavor. Loaded with cheese. And it's loaded with roast beef. Boy is this tasty. And those peppers and onions, oh yeah, they're good. You're really going to enjoy these. Alright, you know what to go good with this? Since we're having this for lunch, you guessed it, a nice cold wobble pop. Yep, that really does sound good, doesn't it? Alright guys, if you're enjoying these videos, go ahead and like and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one. Delicious pepper steak sub sandwich with cheese. That's what's for lunch today. And that really does sound good. Wow, this is so big, it'll serve 2 people, no problem. But I gotta have another little bite. Is that good? Let me spin this around so you can see it. Let me see if I can show you how much cheese is coming out the back. Can you see it? And look at all that nice roast beef. That is just awesome.